Hello everyone, we are now at the second half of the triple electric banner patch and we are getting the recently reworked Jiangyu as our third limited electric doll in global. She was first released in CN way early, like I think she was the fourth doll released after CN launch, and by the time CN started getting the full electric team with Andoris, Belka, Leva etc, Jiangyu fell off the cliff by then and was not meta at all, neither did she have a spot in the electric comp. So Micah recently completely reworked her kit and released her again in CN only this August, and we are getting that new version right away, which is really good now, and you can almost certainly see her in the latest CN electric meta comps pretty much all the time. So is she a must pull for us then? What makes her good? Or can you get away with skipping her? Well, we'll check out her skill kit, team synergy and dupes to figure everything out. What's her meta standing, what's her best pulling breakpoints, and what's her value in your account, etc. But before we jump into it, no, it's not a sponsor. I quickly want to shout out Cheese78, my first and the one and only member on my channel. You are the GOAT and I appreciate the support. And you can also become a member to support me by clicking the join button below. You don't have to though, just like and subscribe, that's free, and I appreciate all of you guys helping me reach 5k subs. Thank you all, and now we move on to the review. We are gonna start with the TLDR version like always. Jiangyu is now an electric support doll with air weapon. After the rework, she is pretty much filling up all the missing pieces that the electric team was lacking. Honestly, if you are considering Jiangyu as a core unit for your electric team, she is kinda the jack of all trades in the team while also being the master of stability breaking. She has insane stab damage potential, which automatically increases her value a lot since your hyper carry Leva only wants to hit stability broken enemies to maximize her damage. Leva plus the new Jiangyu is a perfect duo in that sense. We are also getting the remolding pattern update as well, right? So with the correct remolding pattern setup, I have seen the new Jiangyu do 100 plus stability damage in a single turn. Bro is a stability breaking monster. But that is not all. She can support attack, she has interception, she can buff allies with positive charge and debuff enemies with negative charge, and she also provides the much needed defense down in the electric team comp for boss fights. She does bring insane value to the team as a whole and most prominently enables your Leva to do the heavy carrying, which is what you ultimately want, and that's why she is right now being considered as a core unit in the electric meta comp. Does that then make her a must have to build the electric team? The way I glazed her till now, it should be a straightforward yes, right? Well, yeah, I would say so. But there's an argument to be made here. CN only just got this reworked Jiangyu last patch as well, but they already had a very good working electric team even without her, with the Andoris plus Lena plus Leva as the three cores of the team and adding 2 flex units like even the 4 stars such as Xinia or Nemesis. This was a very popular and successful team in CN even before Jiangyu. So it is evident that you can definitely build a working good electric team without her. But since we are already getting her in the new form and we are yet to get both Lena and Leva and are currently still in the building phase of this new meta, I would highly suggest pulling her at V0 for everyone including F2Ps. So that means if you are either very tight on pool resources and need to save for future units and maybe you also already got Andoris, then sure, you can skip her. But if you are actually looking forward to building a meta electric comp, she is a really high value unit to miss out on. So get her at V0. She is perfectly complete at V0 for F2Ps and low spenders, but her V1 and V2 are really good upgrade options to go for if you can afford a slightly higher investment on her. And for weapons also, you don't really need to pull her signature, while that is the best choice of course. Either of the free SSR choices, Golden Melody or Planeta, suits her very well and would be perfectly fine on her. I do want to discuss a small topic here as well, which is Andoris versus Jiangyu. First of all, no, they are not competing for the same spot in the electric team. They can both be there and fulfill their respective roles, and secondly, for the same reason, no, Jiangyu cannot simply replace Andoris in the comp and do her job either, because Andoris is the team's negative charge implanter on the enemy. Without her, you will have no negative charge source and you will have to give Leva a different fixed key so she herself can implant the negative charges. But that causes a new downside of controllability of the negative charge timing so that Leva doesn't support attack the enemy before its stability broken, which could be a huge DPS loss from Leva. And you don't want that. So you see, there's a cascading effect of replacing Andoris with Jiangyu resulting in ultimately damage loss from Leva. So ideally you want them both. But in case you absolutely cannot have both and you are only going for the least amount of pulls to build the electric core, yes, then you either go for Andoris, Lena, Leva, or Jiangyu Lena Leva. But both options will perform a notch below the full potential of an electric team. A different scenario here is what if you are not really interested in a pure electric team and you want to build a hybrid team with 3 electric plus Yuhi plus Voimastina in the future, where Voimastina will be the hyper carry and Leva may be just a normal DPS in that team. I think in such cases you can probably argue that Andodis will have less value than Jiangyu. But if your goal is to make Leva the hyper carry, you absolutely want them both and put Yuhi on a different Voimastina physical team. Okay, so much yapping. That was not a TLDR at all. I need to make this segment shorter from now on. But anyway, let's now check out her actual skill descriptions to see how she functions. We gotta start from her passive this time. It gives her 1 Confectance energy at the start of the turn, and at the end of action, if Confectance is full, it consumes all of them to reduce her ult cooldown by 1, which is really necessary since her ult is generally on a relatively long 3-turn cooldown. Besides that, if an enemy unit repeatedly gains negative charge, Jiangyu puts 1 stack of another electric debuff on them called Voltage Sag, which reduces the enemy's damage by 5% and increases their electric damage received by 6%. It can stack up to 3 times. Alternatively, when an ally repeatedly gains positive charge, Jiangyu puts 1 stack of an electric buff onto the ally called Power Surge, which gives them 5% defense ignore when dealing electric damage and increases healing received by 5%. This also stacks up to 3 times. Nice overall buffs and debuffs, but that's not all. Whenever an enemy within her range takes targeted ally damage, she does a support attack and gains 1 stack of Chi. Chi is a stackable buff for Jiangyu only and is her core mechanic. She can do 2 support attacks per turn, and the support attack is different based on if the enemy is stability broken or not. If it's not broken yet, then the support attack does 45% attack equivalent electric damage and 3 stability damage. And if it's stability broken already, then the support attack does 75% attack equivalent electric damage. But we need to quickly explain the Chi mechanic for her. Chi can be stacked up to max 5 stacks. Jiangyu has a fixed key to start the battle with 4 stacks, which is really good. Why? Because each Chi stack increases her stability damage dealt by +1. So at 5 stacks, this Chi gives her +5 stab damage with every attack. When the enemy target is not stability broken and Jiangyu uses either her basic attack or skill 1 or skill 2, it consumes all of her Chi stacks and deals a fixed stability damage equal to 3 times the stack count, which means at 5 stacks it's 15 stability damage. This Chi consumption happens after the attack is done, so the attack still gets to take the full effect of the Chi stacks, and then this extra fixed damage comes up and then all the stacks are consumed. Also, only the basic and the skills consume the stacks, so her support attacks, interceptions or ultimate, these do not consume them and can benefit from the extra stab damage provided by the Chi stacks. This, when paired with an appropriate remolding pattern setup, gives her the insane stability shredding power she has right now that we can see in the CN builds. Her skill 1 is a melee electric AoE damage in a 3x3 area that does 90% of her attack as damage to the target and all units in the AoE range. It also creates voltage tiles in the area for 3 turns. What do voltage tiles do? They implant electric weakness onto the enemies standing in it, and if they get hit by an AoE attack, then the tile effects are removed and the enemies get hit by a 30% of attack as fixed damage. If the AoE attack is either electric or hydro type, then the fixed damage is 60% of attack. And also this damage is doubled for large enemies, so bosses. That's not all. If Jiangyu's skill 1 exploits phase weakness in the enemies, it additionally does 5 stability damage. And after the skill 1, she gains extra movement and extra command, so she can go back to back skills on the same turn. Remember, all of her skill 1 damage source benefits from her Chi stacks, and only after it's done those stacks are consumed. Her skill 2 is a single target ranged attack with a 8 tile range, doing 110% attack as electric damage. She gains 2 Confectance energy from this skill, and if the target was in stability broken state already, Jiangyu gains 1 stack of Chi before attacking. Lastly, her ultimate. It's also a 8 tile ranged single target attack. She gains 2 stacks of Chi and does 130% of attack as electric damage to the enemy, ignoring any cover protection, so it will always be a straight line shot. This ult also applies positive charge to all allies for 3 turns, cleanses 1 debuff, dispels stun and taunt from anyone, and she gains 1 Confectance energy. The ult is usually 3 cooldown, but we learned how we can reduce it to 2 from her passive. Looking at her Vertebrae levels, she actually got some early valuable dupe breakpoints that you can invest into if you want to. They are absolutely not necessary for her. She is perfectly online at V0, but if you have the resources, her V1 and V2 are worth investments to go for. Her V1 buffs her passive, She gets +1 support attack per turn and also does 4 fixed stability damage to all enemy units within 8 tiles at the start of battle. It also improves the extra buff and debuff that she applies. Voltage Sack debuff now does a current stacks multiplied by 10% of her attack as fixed damage when being applied to the enemy, and Power Surge buff now immediately heals 10% of max HP on application. Her V2 buffs her ultimate. It reduces her ult cooldown to 2 by default. This actually makes her skill rotation a bit more streamlined. It also increases her Confectance energy gained from the ult by +1, restores 2 stability to all allies, cleanses 1 more debuff, and can also dispel fear and infatuated from them now. These two are the most valuable dupe investments that you can go for. You don't need any more at all. But if you are a whale, then the next one recommended is to just max her at V6. Her personal improvement isn't huge between V0 and V6, but by V6, she significantly improves the performance of the whole electric team with more stability damage and more defense ignore. Let's talk about her weapon choices now. Her signature weapon, Leaping Tiger, I'm not gonna lie, is really good as an electric DPS AR in general, and it's also really good on Belka as well. But since Jiangyu is not your main DPS and a core support in the team now, you don't really need her to do that much damage by herself, and the value of the weapon on her diminishes significantly. It's still, as I said, a great AR, but we don't have that many other electric AR DPSs that can use it either. Both Lena and Leva are SMG dolls. So for Jiangyu only, you can absolutely do with either Golden Melody or Planeta, the two free SSR ARs, and save more pooling resources. In fact, Jiangyu can take advantage of both of these free SSR's effects as she has both support attacks and extraction mechanic. In my opinion though, I think Golden Melody is slightly better than Planeta, but whichever weapon you have the best kitted, you can just give that to her. Moving on to her build, her best weapon attachment set choices are either Electric Boost or Phase Strike, with Phase Strike being the easier to recommend choice since you should already have that farmed. Her stat priorities are pretty standard: attack percentage, then flat attack followed by crit rate and then crit damage. You want to target around 3500 plus attack, 80% crit rate and about 160% crit damage for an endgame full build. Her best in slot fixed keys are Intercepting Fist that gives her interception, Opening Move to implant defense down 2, and Calm Focus to give the highest attack unit positive charge at the start. As for the common keys, besides her own, she can use QJ, Dasabnaya, Belka or any other attack percent and crit percent keys. Her general skill rotation is a bit different before and after V2 as her ult timing changes from V2+. So at V0 and V1 it looks like this, where you can use 3 ults in the 7 turn rotation and you have to mix in all of her skills and basic attacks to maintain a good order. But as mentioned earlier, V2+ her rotation becomes very smooth and streamlined like this one, where you can simply rotate between skill 1 plus ult followed by skill 2, and you can use 4 ults with this rotation. We have already established that Jiangyu belongs in as a core unit in the electric team, which in future as a meta comp should look like this with Andoris, Lena and Leva plus 1 flex slot, where you can use Belka, a V4 plus Mosin Nagant or a V3 plus Yuhi as a premium option, or even Sinia as an F2P option. This is the end goal of the electric team building. But right now we don't have everyone, so if you want to use her now, your best options are to use the Andoris plus Jiangyu duo and then probably use the Hydro trio as a hybrid team, maybe the Burn trio or even Corrosion trio. These are just some ideas and you can try some mix and matching with your available units to find a right balance in building a good hybrid team for the time being. That's kinda all about Jiangyu. With the rework, she is now an exceptionally powerful and valuable asset to the electric team comp and demands your consideration for pulling her. So what's the final verdict or pull recommendation? In my opinion, if you are aiming for an electric team or want a good synergy teammate for Leva, get Jiangyu at V0 and that's it. I intend to do just that as well. If you are not interested, you are free to skip as well. As I mentioned, she is not a make or break character for your account, but just a really valuable addition for electric team building. If you can afford to invest higher on her, go for her V1 next and then V2. You can stop at any point as all of these are good breakpoints for her. And finally, whales can go for V6, I don't think there's any discussion there. At no point do you need her signature weapon, although if you want to, you can get that at any point. That's your choice, but in order of priority for her, I'm gonna put it after V6. That is all. That concludes our review of Jiangyu. She is the first doll in CN that I think got reworked, correct me if I'm wrong, and became so good. I'm planning to pick up one copy as I mentioned earlier, but do let me know what's your plan. You pulling or skipping and saving for someone else. In any case, if you have enjoyed this video and found it helpful, feel free to drop a like and subscribe and hit the new hype button. That can also help my channel. And as mentioned in the beginning, if you want to be a part of this channel's community, you have the option to join the channel membership or even send a super thanks. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more Girls Frontline 2 content. I'll catch you later. Goodbye.